What did these three people have in common? The answer is they all pull like crazy, despite not exactly being the model attractive man. You don't actually need to be some world-class comedian to attract people who would otherwise be out of your league. You just need to do a certain couple of things, which I'm going to explain in detail, and I'm also going to show you with some live examples I filmed a few days ago. Everyone can significantly improve the way that they act and speak so that they can become more attractive. And it's often a lot easier doing this than it is to, become more physically attractive or become a more impressive person, like career-wise or status-wise. And I know this because I used to have such terrible social skills that in grade 9, with my friend group I was sitting with at lunch, one of them just said one day, "Hey Ivor, what does your voice sound like?" Because I just never talked to anyone unless I had to. Not exactly the most attractive thing to do. Whereas now, I'm obviously not like that. And improving the way you speak and act to become more attractive not only helps you find a partner who would otherwise ignore you, but it helps you make more friends and have better career success as well. So as I said earlier, to make people attracted to you when you speak, you need to be funny, you need to appear confident, and you need to be nice to people. So the reason behind this is that we find impressive people attractive, we find people who are realistically obtainable attractive, we find physically attractive people attractive, and we find people who make us feel good attractive. And also people who are similar to us are also attractive. So obviously a lot of these you can't change. You can't become a more impressive, high status person overnight. You can't become way more attractive overnight, and you can't change how similar you are to someone. But you can improve how socially impressive you are in terms of, wow, this guy has amazing social skills, everyone loves him. And you can also improve how you make people feel good. And both of these things you can't obviously drastically change overnight, but I'm going to give you some tips that should help you. And these two things are a big part of attraction. Like, don't neglect these things. So the two things, being impressive socially. So that's being confident and being funny, and also being a virtuous person. So people observe these when you're talking to other people as well as when you're talking to them. So it's not just you can only do this when you're talking to the person you like. And then the other thing was making people feel good. So being kind, being fun to be around, and being easy to talk to. So you can basically summarize those things I just said there into appear confident, be funny and fun to be around, and be really nice. So obviously these are things that people know you should do, but they just don't know how to actually do them. So here's some quick things you can kind of tweak, and also some things you can work on in the long term. So when it comes to being confident, a big part of that is being confident in your delivery of stuff. So when you're saying stuff, when you're acting a certain way. So a couple of times, I had this one time where we were in the gym and we were like dancing to some music or something, and someone else like did a little dance, and then I did a little dance, and then they like didn't look, and so I like kind of faltered, and I was like, oh, and I had a really unconfident look on my face. I was like, and if anyone looked over at me and saw that, they would be like, oh wow, that guy was just dancing to impress them. He was just, really unconfident in himself, was worried about judgment. It doesn't exactly scream socially impressive, high value, confident person. So an easy way to do this is just to remember, if I stop saying this thing halfway through because no one's paying attention, I'm gonna seem like a kind of more unconfident, low value person. Yes, that's just faking confidence, but it doesn't matter. Faking confidence, in my opinion, not actually a bad strategy, as long as you also pair that with improving your actual confidence. And sometimes you don't need to keep going. You can like falter and stop and shut up if no one's paying attention, but you just need to smile and look confident and unbothered. And another way to become more confident is to change your goal for the social interaction you're in. From, I want to make friends, I want people to like me, to, I just want to meet interesting people and get to know them. So I genuinely kind of have this goal. I do also want people to like me and stuff. I'm not perfect, but I genuinely, when I go to places, I want to meet and get to know interesting people. So here's a conversation I had a couple of days ago. I have some more people, guys. So what brings you guys out here today? Going shopping?
Oh, we just wanted to go exploring.
Yeah.
Look at like the alleyways, kind of pretty.
Yeah, explore. So are you guys new? Are you new to Brisbane or like?
No, we've lived here
Oh, okay.
for 5 years.
5 years, okay. That's pretty good. Where'd you move from?
Gold Coast.
Oh, okay, not there.
Where are
Yeah.
you from?
I'm from Brisbane, on the south side, yeah.
Oh,
Lived here
okay.
ages. Yeah. What's your favorite spot in the city, you reckon?
Probably the theatre. I'm really big on theatre, and I just love
Yeah.
and the museum and all that. It's just
Yeah, over at Southend. Yeah, it is quite pretty, hey. Do they have anything like that in the Gold Coast?
Not really.
No? No. What's the best thing in the Gold Coast?
The beaches.
Yeah, they are nice.
Really pretty.
Yeah, Brisbane doesn't have them, sadly. Not really. But yeah, that's cool. All right, we got a quick conversation for the video. Thank you, guys. You can see that there's some like almost silences here where it could have gotten very awkward. But I wasn't worried, oh no, it's about to get awkward. I was going, okay, I'm actually just focused on being interested in them because that's my goal. So I'm just gonna keep asking questions. And that allowed the conversation to keep going and also made me appear kind of confident and unbothered by just awkwardness or anything like that, compared to if I had just shut up and then it got an awkward. And the way you actually change your goal for the social interactions is that you prime yourself before social interactions by visualizing being interested in people and just basically running through conversations in your head, fake conversations. And then after a social interaction, you kind of improve it there by you write down stuff that you found interesting about people. And you also don't worry, you need to reduce the other things as well, like worrying about people, whether people like you. Just shift your goal towards being interested, because if you're constantly worrying about whether people like you, you're reinforcing the goal of, I want people to like me. So you have to reduce the amount of time you spend thinking about whether people like you by having just a set time when you journal, you write down, oh, I felt like this person didn't really like me today or whatever. And then when you're not journaling, you don't think about it. You try your hardest to stop, to shut it out of your mind. So doing that will make you a lot more confident and also just less stressed and less bothered by that. Another part of appearing confident is to have your own views and kind of disagree with people where necessary. So you can see this in another conversation I had. Let's go, hold on. Zoom out a little. These guys have agreed to be in my video. So what brings, were you actually about to jump off that?
Yes.
And get your clothes?
Yes.
Why?
Alright,
At least take the shirt off.
I was
right?
just wondering if there were sharks in there.
Oh yeah, good way to test. See if you get eaten. Yeah, have you guys ever seen a shark in here?
Oh yeah, hundreds.
So this is a bit of a weird example, to be honest, because there's a bit of like a power dynamic. I'm way older than him. I'm interviewing him for, I guess, a YouTube video. But the point is there that I didn't go, oh wow, sick, cool idea. When he said, you know, jump off the pier. I was like, is that a good idea? So how to actually do this? All the above points apply here as well. And also, you need to remember here that you're not trying to get everyone to like you. You're just trying to make some people like you so those people can be your friends. You can't get everyone to like you. And if you try, you'll end up having lots of people liking you a little bit, but no one liking you a lot. And to make people like you a lot, you have to disagree with them. Now, obviously, you don't want to disagree with people in an insensitive way or at a sensitive time. So part of it, obviously, is being interesting and funny. How do you do that? Let's watch this short clip. So what are you filming today?
I'm just walking around with my boyfriend here.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Did he consent to being your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we like.
Can I
all
be
the
your
time.
boyfriend?
Yeah.
Can I be his boyfriend? Can we?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
But are you just
Yeah.
teaching how to people socialize?
Yeah, like the video is how to be attractive every time you open your mouth.
Ooh, but that's already the case with me. Every
They were probably more funny than me, but overall it was a pretty fun and funny interaction. I think you would agree. And that is because I had the goal, again, this goal thing, I wanted to have fun and be funny. Also, it helped that they also had that goal, so they were helping, you know, they're funny people as well. So a lot of people, I think, would be surprised by how little they actually focus on being funny and fun. They're too focused on worrying about their social anxiety, or they're too focused on keeping the conversation going. And sure, it is a luxury to not have to worry about keeping the conversation going. You do have to have good conversation skills. You have to have improved them to get to that point. But you probably can do this a little bit. You probably can focus. Today, I'm going to try and be really funny and fun to be around. And when you do that, part of your brain is actually going to be focused on being funny, whereas normally there's almost no focus on doing that. And that's why you would say, oh, I'm not a funny person. And the same things apply with the goal here. You can prime yourself by visualizing before the interaction, you just having fun and being funny. Basically running through fake conversations in your head. And part of this is also just laughing when other people say something funny. It's not all trying to be funny yourself. And the final thing is being nice. Nice guys are attractive. Jack Black and stuff is nice. It's just that they're also confident and funny. So they're high value and they're fun to be around. So to be nice, I honestly try to never make fun of something that people might be insecure about. So in this interview here, you can see this. So if that didn't play just then, that's because I may have actually not filmed that. But basically what I said was, this guy was like, watch out for that skin color. And I was like, bro, as I was insinuating basically that they're the same skin color. Now, some would consider that banter or like a joke at the other person's expense. I think that was generally a roughly acceptable thing. What would be a lot less acceptable would be going, aha, your forehead is so big. That's what I mean, really. You want to avoid that stuff. And also with that one, he started it by saying, watch out for that skin color. It wasn't me going, haha, you have a criminal skin color. So obviously there's that. So personally, I think always like banter or jokes at the other person's expense, teasing, should always make the other person feel better. That includes flirting as well. Don't put them down. Don't make fun of their insecurities. Like, some people do that and they seem to get girls. I personally would never do it. And I wouldn't want to be friends with anyone who did that. There is definitely personal preference here. My personal preference is I would hate it if anyone did that. A second way to be nice is to ask questions. So be interested in people. That is a way of being nice. And you can also include other people in the conversation as well. So sometimes you can do that by looking at them, like in this interview. It is quite pretty, hey. Do they have anything like that in the Gold Coast?
Not really.
No. Basically, you probably can't tell there, but there was a bit where like one person was talking, like I asked a question and I kind of looked more at the person who wasn't talking as much to try to get them in and to just show them, okay, you're in this conversation as well. Basically with asking questions, make asking questions your default conversation mode. Sure, if you've got something interesting to say or a funny story, say that. It can be very attractive. But just being nice, you can do that through just by default, if no one's talking, ask a question. If you're in a group and some guy just like is a really nice guy and just addresses a question to the whole group, or like includes someone who's being left out of the conversation, that's a really nice thing to do. I personally would be attracted to that if a girl did that. And when it comes to actually coming up with questions, if you struggle to do that, you can use an acronym called FORD with 2 arrows on the end. The arrows are ask about the past or the future, and then family, occupation, relationships, dreams. Did you do anything exciting recently? Do you have any fun hobbies? What's your dream house look like? Etc. Do you have any siblings? And when it comes to asking questions, you can basically ask any question, particularly if it's a follow-up question. Ask anything and ask it in a confident way. And it's just showing interest. So basically what you're doing, even if the question itself makes no sense, you're basically just saying through asking the question, I'm interested, keep talking. And so they'll think of something to say, even if the question you just said makes utterly no sense. But to show that you're interested and you want them to keep talking, you need to say it confidently and with a smile and in an interested way. So you do need to do that. But if you do that, if you ask questions well, you can pretty much ask anything. So don't have such a strong filter, just let them out. Okay, also for involving people in groups, if they're being left out, you can ask them a question. You can be like, what do you think? Or like, what's your opinion on this? Or what about you as well? I use those so often, like I swear, every conversation. I don't know, maybe not every conversation, but a lot. Or you can just ask them a question like, what's your favorite color? And then the other way to be nice is to say compliments when you're thinking them. So I probably did that in one of the interviews, I can't remember. Or also like another way to give compliments, if people like say something good about themselves, like in that interview here, watch this. Video is how to be attractive every time you open your mouth.
Ooh, but that's already the case with me.
Yeah, well, you'll be a good example. There, because he like kind of complimented himself. I agreed with that. I didn't go, no. I was like, yeah. So people kind of compliment themselves sometimes, and you can essentially compliment them by just strongly agreeing with what they said. And the emphasis here is strongly agreeing. Don't just go, yeah, because then it's like, well, no, I don't really agree with that, but I'm just being polite. You got to go, yeah, no, you actually are. And then how to just think of more compliments, because it's kind of hard when you're thinking a compliment to actually notice that and then tell the person. When you're thinking compliments, practice labeling them as compliments, because then you'll be able to recognize them and tell them. So hopefully these tips will help you be more nice, be funnier and funner to be around, and to be kind of more confident or appear more confident. That will help increase your value, your social value, so you'll be a more impressive person, and it will make you more fun to be around. So those are kind of the two parts of attractiveness that you can improve quite quickly through kind of the way you speak and the way you act. So I hope this helped. Have a great day.